All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Hump Day right here on the Rocky Top Picker channel. And joining me from North Carolina, I've got Mr. Johnny joining us. And his wife, unfortunately, is sick, but they are from Frizzy's Finds. Welcome in, Johnny. How are you, brother?
What is up, buddy? I feel like I was like a WWF wrestler coming through the tunnel. I was ready to run into the ring, man.
Hey, that reminds me, I didn't ask you that question before we went live. Are you a wrestling fan?
I was.
You was.
I think when the F changed to an E, I was out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It seemed to change from the early 90s of the Attitude Era, and it just kind of faltered, I felt, from that point. But anyway, hey, listen, brother, it is good to have you here on the show. And again, I wish she was feeling better, and I hope that she gets on the mend pretty soon. But anyway, let's just tell our audience, man, I want to hear about you. You know, I've started watching your all's channel, and I told you before we went live, I went all the way back to video number 1 and went all the way through. So I gave you some good watch time on that little run right there.
Well,
but I'm telling you, go ahead.
We appreciate it. We got monetized last week, and I noticed it went from $6.53 to $6.87. So that must have been you. So we appreciate it.
Hey, your all's videos are entertaining, and that's what a lot of viewers look for. Especially resellers. So I want to get this party started, man. I would like for you to tell those that are in chat, welcome everybody, and I'll be cutting in and I will be acknowledging who's joining us as we go through this. But Johnny, tell us your all's backstory, brother. Take us from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. So we have always been big YouTube watchers, right? We were always watching YouTube and, never thought of making videos or doing anything like that. We used to travel a lot pre-pandemic. And so we would watch a lot of like, oh, you're going to this city. This is, what you need to go eat at, or, whatever it was. And then, obviously the pandemic hit and we weren't traveling. So we were still just watching a ton of YouTube. We had people that we liked to watch, and we watched them and all of that. And one day it was a Froggy Flips video pops up in our recommended.
Yeah.
And it was like, you won't believe what I got at this garage sale, just something like that about going to a garage sale. And I was like, I have got to watch this guy go to a garage sale. I don't know why, but I got to watch it. And Froggy, if you know anything about him, he's from the Indianapolis area, and Frizzy is actually from the Indianapolis area.
Okay.
So we used to watch his videos, and I used to just joke with her and say, "Hey, do you know where that house is? Do you know where he is?" She's like, "No, it's a big city. I don't know." And so, like, needless to say, we've watched, a dozen of his videos at this point. So YouTube is just sending out resellers left and right. Everyone's going to garage sales and stuff like that. And then started, probably how a lot of people did, started watching Harry Tornado videos, because that's what the algorithm was pumping to us.
Sure.
And I was like, dang, this guy's going to Goodwill and he's selling stuff. I could do that. We're doing that.
Yeah.
So, never even thought about it. It was never something we ever thought of. So we, got in the car, drove to Goodwill, and we're like, we're buying stuff and we're selling it. It's so easy, right?
Yeah.
And so we get into Goodwill and we're like, where the heck do we start? Like this isn't how it was on TV at all. And so I bought this. It was like an NHL air hockey table, but it was like a desk one.
Okay.
And so I've had eBay forever. My account, if you look up my eBay account, it's established 2001. So I turned 18, opened an eBay account, and like any 18-year-old with a credit card, just buying stuff left and right. So I was at least familiar with eBay, right? And then just kind of how it worked. So, I'm going in there thinking like, well, we're going to be rich. And so I posted that NHL hockey table, and not thinking about the cost of shipping, right?
Right.
when you don't know, and that was the biggest learning curve, was shipping. And now I know more about shipping than anybody should.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, you're lifting up the box and you're like, oh, this will be $5 to ship, right? So, no scale, nothing, no idea of what postal costs are,
Oh
anything
my
like
goodness.
that.
Yeah.
So I listed, we paid like $4 for it. I list it for like $14.99 and set shipping to like $5. And it sells. It sells like 2 weeks later. And I'm just like, this is it. Like, I'm a genius. I've got this. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know anything at this point about buying labels through eBay. So I'm taking it to the post office, like retail style.
Oh wow, dude.
And so I go to ship it, and it's like $18. So
Whoops.
so we lost a couple bucks on the first thing we sold, but all that did was, one, tick me off, and
Yeah.
two was like, okay, we're figuring this out. And we buckled down and watched a lot of YouTube and learned about comping and watched a lot of just basic eBay 101 videos and shipping and stuff like that. And it took off pretty quick after that, but it was rough at first, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, we want to break in real quick. I want to just acknowledge everybody joining us in chat. It's good to see a lot of my regulars here. We've got Mary, which is my favorite viewer to the Picker channel. Hi guys. And then we have Chris Easy Pickens. I had him here on the live just a couple of weeks ago. He has a
Nice.
successful
What's up,
business.
guys?
He is out in California.
Ooh.
And then Mary is in. Let's see, who else we got? Oh, we got Reselling with Woody. He is in the house. Welcome in there, Woody. Rad Relics. Rad is here. Man, let me
What's
tell
up,
you what.
guys?
I saw Rad on my other co-host, Shane from Soda City Flips. He does a live called the Soda City Social on Monday nights. And Rad was on his show, dude, where he was broadcasting from. You'd think he was sitting in an antique store, all kinds of vintage Coca-Cola signs on the wall. I was drooling at that stuff. So yeah, he's got a lot of killer stuff there. Oh, and if you don't know, Anytime Picker is the world famous Roman. He
Nice.
is the comedian of the reselling community. And who else we got in here? Let's see. I wanted to tell everybody in chat, if you have questions, please submit them and we'll let Johnny answer them. Jeff Anderson is in the house. Welcome in, Jeff. We appreciate you being here on Hump Day. And I told Ben that by the time I visit him in Tennessee, that I'll be 69 years old. Yeah, that's Roman for you right there. But anyway, welcome in everybody in chat. And this is Johnny, one half of Frizzy Finds. You can find their channel on YouTube. Be sure, if you've not checked them out, to go check them out. These guys are a class act. They do a great job on their channel. And yeah, so let's get back to the story. Let's talk about what you do for a living and how you all is she full time? Let's talk that aspect.
Yeah. So when we first started, Frizz was working for a doctor's office, and I was working in recruiting in a hospital. And the pandemic and hours change, all that. And so she was laid off with the doctor's office downsizing. And we had already started this business, and I was like, you know what you're doing at this point, just let it go. Like, just do it, make it happen. And she took it and ran with it, and has just really been killing it ever since. But it was a little nervous at first, because it was like, holy crap, we're really we're going into this thing. And but no, man, it's been awesome. It's great. And it allows her to be flexible just for life and things like that, which it's really nice to have your other half just have that flexibility to it. I work in recruiting for a hospital system, and I'm hybrid, so I go into the office some days and I'm at home some days, so I can help out too.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of flexibility there too, so I can help out and things like that. I do all the shipping, and she does all the spending, so it all works out.
Okay. Well, let's get into the different platforms. We talked previously, you guys do sell on eBay, but what other platforms do you guys utilize?
Yeah, seems like all of them. We were talking off camera before, but we just started, not sponsored, but using Vendu for cross listing to try to build up Mercari, and build up Depop a little bit more. We sold one thing on Mercari 2 years ago, never sold anything again, and just stopped. We were
Wow.
done with it. We were out.
Gotcha.
So now that we're cross listing, we've started putting things back onto that. And I will say, there's all these ads out there for these cross listing platforms, whichever one it may be, and it's so just, oh, if you have it, you're going to make hundreds of dollars, and it's still a lot of work. And if you have a lot of listings, moving them over to those other platforms is still a ton of work. So I will tell you, as honest as possible, that that's still a ton of work. But we're using that for Mercari, Depop. We use Poshmark. Frizzy, I don't know if you saw her videos, but she finds some high-end designer stuff from time to time. So we
Yes.
use a platform called Vestiaire Collective for that.
Okay.
And then we dabble in and out of Whatnot. We ride that Whatnot roller coaster. When it's high and it's great, we're all in 100%. And then the
Oh
the
yeah.
dip on the roller coaster ride, we hate it, and it's a waste of our time. So we have a love hate there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, what mainly do you guys deal? Are you an everything reseller, or do you niche down into certain things, or what exactly do you move the best?
It's pretty niched into clothing. I love some hard goods and things like that, but 95% of what we sell is clothing. And really, because that's what our Goodwill tells us. We don't have, we watch a ton of YouTube, and everyone, buying VCRs and coffee makers, and we don't have those. Those aren't in our Goodwills. Those aren't
Oh
in
yeah.
our thrift stores. So we kind of joke that our Goodwills tell us what we buy, or what we sell, and it's mostly clothing, shoes, clothing.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good point there. I think I've even said that in one of my videos on this channel that, your local Goodwill dictates
Yeah,
really if you're shopping there, especially if you're looking there exclusively, it
yeah,
dictates what you're going to be able to sell because
absolutely.
you go into some of these other states, these real big, high population metropolitan areas, they're probably going to have a lot more high end products that people are
Yep,
just, wealthy people discard products like it's nothing. And
yep.
it could be $200 and $300 retail items that they don't think nothing about getting rid of.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And so we
so,
don't find the, oh, every time I walk in, I go through, the electronics. Like we ours are broken, our hard goods are broken knickknacks, and Starbucks cups without the lids. So we don't, there's not a ton of it there.
gotcha. We got a question here from Woody. Can you read that?
Yeah, where do we primarily source, and in what state? So we're here in North Carolina. We're in central North Carolina, the Triad area. 90% of our sourcing is the Goodwill bins. Just the good old fashioned pay by the pound, roll up your sleeves, and get into it. Where we live, we're about 15, 20 minutes away from the Goodwill bins, and that's the furthest Goodwill from our house in our area. So what we do is we drive to the bins, we hit the bins for a couple hours, and then we have just a little plan that we go, and we just pop into our Goodwills all the way back to our house.
Nice. Nice.
But I know Goodwill gets a lot of slack, and in some ways rightfully so, but they keep our lights on for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, talking about let's just talk about the eBay platform because they're, the majority of us are
Yeah.
eBayers. And do you guys ever do a standard promoting on any of your items?
We do 6% across the board.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, what's eBay fees, like 12.5%, something like that?
Yeah, 12 and a half, 13, just kind of in that
And
area.
we do a lot on Poshmark too, which is 20%. So for us, doing that 6% on eBay kind of puts us in line with what we're at on Poshmark.
Okay.
Um, we don't, if we know it's a quality item and it's going to sell right away, we won't promote it. We'll just let the product stand by itself. But clothes can get lost in the shuffle pretty easily, so we promote most of our stuff.
Okay. Bama Jaybird Resale. Hey guys. Now this is another YouTuber that I came across that came across my feed in YouTube, and uh, I had him on one of my lives, and since then he's been on numerous big podcast shows. And so that is
Nice.
Josh, Bama Jaybird Resale. You can get by the first name that he's in Alabama, right? So, but yeah, even though I'm a Vol fan, I don't exclude the Roll Tide people because they just got obliterated after this season. Coach is retired and all their biggest stars have fled the Bama land, and we picked up 2 or 3 for
Yeah.
Tennessee, so I'm happy about that. But
I mean, there's nothing like SEC football though. Like,
oh yeah,
right? I mean, can we just
it's the toughest. It's the toughest conference, dude.
and
I mean,
I know this wasn't the year, but like I mean it's SEC football.
yeah,
We lived in Florida for a long time, so we were talking before. I'm an honorary Gator because my buddies are all Gators. But I will tell you, my buddy and I. He flew into Greensboro and we drove to Knoxville last year because we were going to go to the Gator Vol game. And we never even looked at tickets. We were like, we'll just get there and we'll figure it out. And so we get there, we're ready to go. And then street was going like $500-600. And we're like, all right, so we're not going to the
we're
game.
not gonna go.
So
Yeah,
we just posted up in like one of those Fat Tuesday daiquiri places and just
watch.
watched the game on TV in Knoxville.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you something, man. In the fall in Knoxville, and even where I live, Knoxville is about a 60-mile drive from my
Mm-hmm.
house. It is dead serious, and I
Yeah.
don't. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Now, if you would have come down to Knoxville about 4 years ago when we really sucked, you could have got a ticket for $10, probably.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think that's what we were mentally preparing ourselves for.
But, even this year, I imagine even this year, the way we have got our recruiting in line, that tickets are probably going to be about what you found,
Yeah.
unless you're a season ticket holder, which I was. I was a season ticket holder the year we won the national championship in '98, and I'm considering maybe anteing up again for this season. So, but anyway.
Well, yeah. Especially if you can sell a game or two and just pay for the whole dang thing.
That's exact. I'm a reseller, dude. That's of course what I'm going to.
That's
I'm
right.
going to go to all the big headline games, but the rest of them, dude, I'm going to sell them things off.
That's right.
But yeah, so you do promoting, you do 6% across the board, and
Yeah.
do you guys take advantage of the end and sell similar function?
Yeah. So I have kind of an unofficial rule, but 9 months. Once a listing is 9 months old, I take it down, I delist it and sell similar. And it is extra work, but it works. It works. It actually probably works better than promoting does.
Yeah.
So I stand by it. I've thought of going earlier, than 9 months. It's too much. It's too much work.
What
Just for
do
the
you have
amount of listings.
what store level do you guys have with eBay? Do you have a basic subscription, or are you a premium store, or
You know what?
how many items do you
I don't.
roughly have on eBay?
We have like 1,200.
Okay. You're about
So
what I have.
I think I'm whatever is the one that's above that, just to
Okay.
make sure.
Yeah.
I set it up 2 years ago. I haven't
Hard to
touched it
remember that
since.
far. I know. I know, man. How old are you, Johnny?
I turned 40 this year.
Dude, Do you know how old I am? You want to take a
For-
guess?
42.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're the first person to say something that nice to me. I am 51, pal.
Man.
Yeah, it's old. I know. You'll see it over in chat. They're going to start wailing about it any minute now.
You have great hair, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, brother. As long as that don't fall out, I got it going on, I guess. But anyway, but no, getting back on the end and sell similar, I do it daily
Oh, okay.
because, depending on when you list items is when the 30-day is going to be up.
Yeah.
So if it's within a day or two of automatically ending, I just go ahead and lump it in, get it in my bulk editor, make my updates to pricing or title or whatever, and just roll it right back out because,
So you're doing it at like 30 days then?
generally, but I'm on with over 1,000 items like you. I've always got some that's fixing to roll over to auto relist, and I never
Yeah.
let that happen. I never
Okay.
let an auto because if eBay ends it and relists it for you, it keeps the same item number. But when you end and sell similar, it assigns it a
Yeah.
new item number, and it
Yeah.
kind of shows the algorithm, hey, this is a new item. So that's kind of what I've been doing for a long time, and I always see a boost in sales. That's helped with consistency.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. The one
So
thing I like about it is if we're kind of like in our inventory and I'm like, God, I haven't seen this in a long time. Like, is this even because I'm 99% sure eBay makes listings disappear. And so I'll just say, hey, God, like I haven't even relisted this thing in forever. Like, where the heck is it? And I'm like, oh, it's not even posted anymore.
yeah, yeah. Mary says, yeah, I just had a birthday, January 17th, and that Mary's got me beat on age, so I shouldn't feel bad. Well, that's all right there. Women age more gracefully than men do. I can tell you that much. All right. So let's get into some other ideas on reselling. What's your take on how do you feel about returns? You may have been seeing a lot of YouTube videos lately about, buyers. There's some buyers out there using some loopholes that are taking advantage of us sellers on returns. Tell me your take on that whole thing.
So I've gone back and forth on this a lot because we sell predominantly clothing. We never accepted returns, and a lot of that was we didn't want to be a rent the runway, right? Like, hey, I need this cocktail dress for Saturday for an event.
They don't want
I'm
to.
gonna,
You don't want to rent your clothes out.
yeah, and so we never did that for that reason because we never wanted to get it sent back to us as like, okay, I'm done with this. It's yours now because 30 days is a long time, you know?
Yeah,
And so you can have something for a month and you're like, well, spring's here now. I don't need this sweater I bought 29 days ago. And you put in a claim and then they give you time on top of that to return it. So, you're holding on to things so we always avoided it. And then we started getting negative feedbacks on eBay and eBay obviously, as we all know, doesn't work with you anymore. And
right.
we had somebody like leave really, really nasty comments. And we sent it to eBay and was like, this is uncalled for. And they're like, well, that was their experience. And we're like, these words?
Yeah,
So finally we were like, you know what? We'll just put in returns just because that's clearly what eBay is forcing you to do. And
yeah,
so we turned it on, and then just the floodgates of returns started coming in. This doesn't fit. This is smaller than I thought. This, all, and we put measurements for all our clothes. I mean, it's a lot. And we were like, God, I'm over this too. So we're selective. So some things we allow returns on and other things we don't. And a lot of it is because we sell clothes. I think if
yeah,
we sold toys or, hard goods and knickknack, not so much electronics, but the knickknack stuff, like nobody's buying well, not nobody, but no, very few people are going to buy a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figure, play with it, and then try to send it back, right? They
Yeah.
want it because they want it. So I think if we did more hard goods, I would be more open to it, but definitely not free returns.
Yeah.
But the other thing with that is it just causes people to scam. We had somebody put in a return and said item not as described and said this isn't red, it's orange. It's red. It's red. It's everyone else who has the same item listed, it's red. But because they put, the INAD, we had to pay for the return and shipping. And eBay, I reached out to eBay and it's like, oh, thanks for your feedback. So there's people know enough to scam around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of Archie Biscuit Butt, he's in here now. eBay absolutely suppresses and or
Yeah.
shadow bans items at times. It's a known fact. Then we have Rad, who says, I go through my inventory totes and there are items that were listed but are now not listed.
Yeah.
I think after a while, your item's not getting views. eBay just delists it. Yeah.
Which
I
is
don't think I've
fine,
read.
but
Yeah.
send me the notification that item 54321 has been delisted for inactivity.
Yeah. Josh says, got to go. Church time. Y'all have a great night. Good to meet you,
Josh,
Johnny.
pleasure, buddy. Yes. Thank you. Be sure to follow.
Bama Jaybird Resale. Yeah. All right. Here's one. Has anyone heard if eBay is removing negative feedback still, or do they leave them now? Well, let me tell you, my experience so far has been this. I've had 2 cases come up where I've called back in the old days. See, I've been on eBay off and on since it started in 95 when it was just an auction site. And I remember that was dial-up internet too, by the way. I don't know if you ever remember that, but
I have a funny story about that, but yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell it.
Okay. So growing up in Buffalo, we had a 716, our area code is 716, and it still is to this day. Well, Rochester, which is about an hour away from Buffalo, back then in the late 90s, also used a 716 area code, but it was considered long distance. But I was a kid and saw 716 and said, okay, those are because you selected what phone number, you were calling into on AOL. And so I kept using this Rochester phone number. And then my parents got the phone bill for the month. And it was just astronomical. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I used the area code. And they're like, oh, so yeah.
I was calling him 1-900 numbers, Mom. I was calling him 1-900 numbers. That was the rage back then too. You called them 900 numbers, man. But yeah, it's so it was crazy back then, dude. I remember when I first ran across eBay for the first time, they had less than 1,000 items on auction on that site, dude.
Yeah.
And I remember when they came out with the Buy It Now feature. I remember when they introduced PayPal. They took away PayPal. I remember I've been all through that. But my experience in having an attempt of trying to get 2 negatives removed is they would not.
No.
So, and I think, Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, has done several videos on what we're talking about here, especially when we're dealing with returns, that a lot of stuff with eBay now is automated.
Yep.
And could that be why they laid off thousands of employees, because they don't need that big of a payroll because everything is so automated? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it sucks because there's too many details on a case-by-case basis that needs to give special consideration. Everything shouldn't just be vanilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Kevin's video, case in point, that he put out last week, where he sold an item, he shipped it to them. Before the buyer received it, they opened a return.
Yeah.
Now, before the buyer got that item and they opened the return, he got a package in the mail from that buyer. Did you see this video of his?
Yeah.
Dude, so that kind of stuff is being handled through the automated system. Of course, he knows some people, so he's able to make some phone calls, and I still don't know if he's got that whole case resolved, but the buyer, whoever it is still sending crap or
Yeah.
who knows what it is in those packages back to him. So I don't know, dude. What do you think about all that?
I mean, it's not 1998 anymore, right? So people are more savvy about things now, and people know how to play the game, right? Like if you buy something and you don't like it and you want to change your mind, just put not as described. And it was like for our item, red or orange. Like, let's get into the semantics of red versus orange, right? It's like it was like that white, gold, black, blue dress thing, right? Like, which one do you see? So,
Yeah.
you can, and the thing that has frustrated me about eBay, one is that part, and then two, just all the BS that you deal with, low selling items. We get the biggest complaints and headaches over $7, $8, $9 items than if we sell something for $150. And it's like that. I can see a lot of people coming into it and getting burnt out and discouraged just based on that stuff. But I mean, some of it there's nothing you could do about, but some of it eBay allows.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
How do you feel about leaving feedback for buyers? I know you can't anymore, but I mean, does it matter, or is it because, oh, you leave me negative feedback, so I leave you negative feedback?
Yeah. You know what I do? I just do shows like this and just rant about it. I just get it off my chest. I just come on here and just bitch about it all I want so I can air it out. You know what I mean?
I like it. Therapeutic.
Let me tell you something. On the Reseller Locker Room podcast, we did an episode, and if Archie's still in here, he can probably tell me which episode it was. Well, anyway, we got on the subject of returns, and I had just gotten one that day that we were recording, and man, I was hot. I mean, I was hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I lit up on that show, and I feel bad now, Johnny. I feel bad about doing this, seriously, because I pointed at the camera like this, and I said, if I find where you live, I'm going to hunt you down. And I'm like, they're like, dude, you've got their address. What do you mean if you can find where they live? But anyway, you know how if you blow your top, dude, your common sense is not intact at that moment.
Sometimes I like being angry.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just healthy to blow off steam every once in a while.
We had
go ahead.
We had a return request. Well, it wasn't even a return request the other day, and it was my fault. I shipped the wrong item, right? So the lady gets it, and we just get this nasty, but like she's swinging right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people, hey, I got the wrong item. You're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You take care of them. Wipe your hands of it. This lady came out swinging immediately, immediately. And part of me was like, I'm ready to just swing back, right? Like, but I was like, you know what? You screwed up, like talking to myself, right? Like you screwed up, just own it. She's mad, whatever. But you would have thought that we like took her cats in the middle of the street and just murdered her cats in front. Like it was for a $20 item, right? This is what I'm talking about before. And she is so mad that she doesn't want, she's calling eBay. Of course, she's calling eBay. We're getting reported. Oh, and I'm like, ma'am, I am so sorry. It's just a mistake. It's Saturday. I will ship your item Monday. Like, I was almost worried about her. Like, do you need a hug? Like, sit down. Like, what do you need? And so she's like, I don't want anything from you. So I refunded her money because I screwed up. And she's like, don't send the item. I'm done with you. So I sent the item. And I don't know if part of it was just me being petty. Like, I'm going to send you this anyways. Yeah. But I put a note in it that was like, hey, honest people make honest mistakes sometimes. I hope you forgive us, and just sent the item. But I was like, man, people, like, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Trust me, scamming you out of $20 is not in our business model. Like that's not going to work.
Did you send her a message through the eBay message system? Do you need a hug?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm stealing that one. I'm stealing it.
She was so irate, like like up
Like a
here.
book.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, this is my wedding ring and my wedding is tomorrow. It was like a random bag of like crafts, like brooches and costume jewelry.
Yeah.
And which, hey, she ordered it, it's hers. Like, who am I to, whatever. But I was like, wow, this is like DEFCON, DEFCON 5. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm like, are you okay? Like, you need a hug or something? I don't. So,
Dude,
needless
that's
to
so
say,
awesome.
but I will say the best thing, she didn't leave negative feedback.
Really?
And no negative. I mean, she was reporting me to eBay, the Better Business Bureau. I mean, I think she like tried to call my mom on me, like everything, but didn't leave negative feedback.
Well, there are people out there that just like to complain, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Carol. Carol is late to the party, but she's here. Welcome in, Carol. Good
Better
to
late
see
than
you.
never.
That's right. Shane O'Mac is here. Soda City Flips, my co-host on the Reseller Locker Room podcast. It's good to have all of you in chat. If any of y'all have questions for Johnny, let us know. We'll get it up on screen, get those questions answered. And Rad says she just wanted you to give her that item for free. That has happened a lot.
Probably. And she won.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually dealt with that situation several times, actually. Yeah.
And it, you know what? If it was an item that I knew would have sold, like I had those things forever. So I was stoked that they sold so I could get rid of them. So part of me sending them to her even for free was I had already mentally gone through getting rid of them.
Man, I'm going to use that line next time I get in an altercation. Do you need a hug?
Did you need a hug? Like, I'm worried about. I was like, I'm worried about you.
Well, they say that's how you can defuse somebody, especially if somebody's up in your grill and they're fussing at you or going off on you. You just calmly look at them and say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
It's psychological, but anyway, it's crazy, man. Reselling is a crazy business. I don't care who you are.
No, man, the highs are high and the lows are low, and it's weird in between.
Oh my gosh, dude. Let me tell you what, if you suffer from, well, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's the truth. But if you suffer from depression, anxiety, or panic attacks, this reselling business is probably not going to be a good fit for you to make a living.
No, you can't ride the highs too high or the lows too low. And even just stupid things like, I don't know about you, but like lowball offers all day, every day now.
Oh,
I mean, like cheaper than Goodwill prices. Like,
well,
you
just mentioned offers. I just got an offer for $3.
Yeah.
For a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. I don't know if that'll focus in, but probably. Well, my phone went dark. $3 offer there.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even. I don't. And I get it, but I don't get it. Like part of it is just I get the economy and whatever, but I think we're riding that a little too hard in terms of like, well, I've got to send low ball offers. The economy's bad. Well, maybe just don't buy the item. But it works, right? I mean, all it has to do is work once. And depending upon the item, we've taken a low ball offer before. So
have you experienced this where you might receive an offer, accept it, and then all of a sudden you get several more like back to back? Have you experienced that?
Yeah. And it's funny, we had something the other day that somebody sent us a low ball offer and we were like, yeah, screw it, just sell it, get it moving. And like 2 minutes later, before we could take it off Poshmark, we got an offer for like $20 more. And we were like, oh, wow.
Dang, man. Yeah, see, that's another reason why I don't want to cross list, because I don't know, dude.
We double sell things all the time.
Well, better to cancel it on Posh than on eBay. You
That
know
I
what I
will
mean?
tell you, I love Poshmark, and the reason that I love Poshmark is like they're really good with idiots like me. I mean,
Wow.
eBay probably would have kicked me off the platform for how many times I've canceled things on Poshmark.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you. Let's see. Let's get to some comments here. Rad says if you're making YouTube videos, then the drama pays off. If not, just make it right and move on.
Yeah. It is really weird us just starting making YouTube videos to start thinking that way. You're just like, "Oh, this lady was crazy," and then all of a sudden it's like, "This lady was crazy." Like,
Yeah.
now it's a video.
Yeah, that's right. Man, we could as YouTube creators, if we wanted to just make videos complaining about some of our buyers and people asking questions, we'd have content for months,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Rad says that Steelers hat that I got a $3 offer on, he said that's about $2 more than it's worth. Well, yeah, I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but it's
Yeah.
worth more. This hat's worth more than $3, I can assure you. And I did only have like a buck in it, I think. But all right. Moving Mountains Community. That's a brand new name. Welcome in. I've been seeing a lot of $3 to $5 offers the last couple of weeks for
Yeah.
sure. Um, let's see. I'm trying to catch up in chat here, man. I've been seeing a lot of offers. If you let them set, someone else comes in and buys it at listing price. Yes.
Mhm.
I did a video on that very subject, Josh's Junk Shop. That's another brand new name. Welcome in, Josh. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't answer offers right away. Because a lot of times, it gives you like 15-hour or 24-hour deal that it's good for. I
Mhm.
wait to the last possible hour left because like they're saying, a lot of times I'll get an offer and if I sit on it, it'll sell full price to somebody else.
Yeah.
Have you had that ever
Well,
happen when you do that?
doesn't eBay notify people watchers if somebody else sends an offer on their item, or did I make that up in my dreams? I thought eBay alerted watchers on an item that somebody made a move for it.
I
If not, they should, and I'm going to go
yeah,
work for eBay and pitch that idea.
yes. Maybe you should write eBay a letter or something, man.
Did I
That's
dream that, or is that real?
I I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Carol says, Ben, your guests have been very intelligent resellers. Why are they hanging out with us? Carol is a good one. She is a very committed subscriber to my channel. Her and Mary
Love it.
both actually, and I hope to get to meet both of them someday at a reseller event. Yeah, Carol says we're like the welcome back Cotter kids. Of course, you got to be of an advanced age to know what the
Oh,
welcome back.
Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter.
There you go. There you go. That was a great show, man. I love that show.
Somebody asked in the comments before. This is just the back of my dining room. It's not a green screen, so these are all my plants. This is the remnants of COVID. all these
Oh yeah,
plants. I turned into a plant dad during those couple of years.
yeah. So let's talk about your YouTube journey, dude. And how often do you upload? Do you like to focus on shorts? Do you like long form? What do you guys zero in on?
I think that's kind of where we're at right now is trying to figure that out. We've been doing shorts and reels and stuff like that for a little over a year now. And a lot of that was just because we could turn and burn them quickly. And they're both art forms, and it's you're kind of like one or you're the other a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah,
And so we started doing shorts and stuff, just like I said, because we could turn and burn them. And then us kind of going into YouTube was really Frizzy's idea, where she's like, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. You're watching so much of it. We
yeah,
could do that. We go there. So, we went and we bought the GoPro, and, we bought all the items and stuff like that. And then we very half-heartedly did it. Those early videos are, 10 or 11 months ago, and figuring it out. I was very anti it at first because there's so many well-established YouTubers in our niche now
Yes.
that, to me, I was like, well, I don't want to just put out crap and nobody watches it, because there's better out there. But, I started doing more research and watching more videos about making content and things like that. And it was like, put stuff out. All you got to do is put stuff out. The more you do it, that'll get better, but you're better off putting out, a crappy video, for lack of a better term, than no video at all. So we did a couple. Frizzy edited them, and then she was like, all right, we tried it, moving on. And I'm like, no, you got me all stoked for this. We're doing it. So, we did it kind of on and off for a couple months, and just very half-heartedly. And then maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, you know what, let's just do this. Let's commit to it. Like, let's really do it. Ideally long term, I'd like to be able to go full time and, not work for the man, if you would. And, YouTube, having that extra revenue stream, was a way to do it. So for, like I said, the last 3 or 4 months, we've really kind of committed to it, and trying to do 1 video a week. Ideally, I'd like 2, but definitely trying to get 1 out right away.
Well, I'm personally I'm a fan of doing long form. I mean, I have an Instagram account. I think I'm almost at 1,700 followers on my Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, and man, my TikTok, I've just put out a couple of little things on TikTok, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting followers daily off of that, which,
Yeah.
I put in very minimal effort, you know, on those other platforms. I'm not really a
Yeah.
fan of doing shorts, really. I
Yeah.
guess it's because I've got such a big mouth and I've got a lot to say, and I can't do it in 15 seconds.
Yeah. And I think for us, like, doing, like, Frizz does a lot of those, like, Goodwill Bins Haul TikToks and stuff like that she can kind of turn and burn quickly. But then we look at each other and we're like, God, this is enough for a full length. And then you make that full length, and then you're like, well, I don't want to make it into a short now. I just made it into a full,
Yeah.
So it's really just trying to kind of find our niche there and play with trying to do both.
Yeah. Well, I started YouTube last year. Just this week, I rolled pretty well over 2,000 subs here on the Rocky Top Picker channel. I'm very excited about that. And I don't know really, Johnny, if I'm going to really dig down deep on doing shorts, because that's
Yeah.
just another thing to add to my daily to-do list.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
I know there's lots of creators that are focusing on shorts and getting subs that way. But really, if you're a small channel and you're under 1,000 subs, you're really wanting to go after watch hours,
Yeah, exactly.
because that'll take the longest. And if you're doing nothing but shorts, it's going to
Yep.
take you a long time to accumulate that 4K than it would if you throw out a lot of long form. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did a Bolo brand list maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's getting close to 9,000 views on YouTube, that generated more subscribers than shorts with 100,000 views did.
Yeah. Everybody's
I,
different, man.
yeah.
Everybody approaches reselling differently. There's no right or wrong way to do this
Yeah.
business.
Mm-mm.
And then there's people, they approach their social media differently too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really diverse. Moving Mountains community, my wife and I want to start doing media, but we do a little then to get caught up in a day, or I'm sorry, it's all running together, and never get back to it. My wife does a few days here and there doing shorts, but we never get long. Okay. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
do what your time and your schedule allows for you to do. With me, it's convenient for me to do long form. It's nothing for me to turn this camera on, and if I've got some thought going around in my head, I'm not one of these creators, Johnny. I don't know if you guys do this. I'm not one of these creators that sit down and write out scripts and come up with, 99% of what I do, I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
Absolutely.
And I think that works great for me. And I can tell by watching channels who has got crap memorized and who's scripted and who's shooting from the hip.
Yeah. It's got to be organic, right? I mean, we stage and control what we can, but I think it's got to be natural. I think if you're so hyper focused on a point or whatever the case may be, that it just doesn't come off as authentic. And like, to me, I don't know. I'd rather be silly than well put
together.
Do you think that YouTube, in regards to the reselling world, is changing at all?
Yes, I do. By the way, sorry to interrupt, Johnny. This is my co-host, Alex, the Beard King Picker. He's got his own YouTube channel.
Man? How you doing? Nice to meet you, Johnny. Good.
Nice
how are you?
Pleasure. Good.
So, Johnny, repeat that question as he just joined us, and I'm going to let Alex answer that.
All right.
Do you think that YouTube is changing in regards to the reselling space?
I don't know how to answer.
And part of what I mean by that, and we've kind of noticed it in ourselves, is maybe we're looking for different people than maybe just the standard people who have always been. Like, we're looking for people with less followers and watching their stuff. And
so you might be getting burnt out on the few top guys. Is that what you're saying? Kind of.
Yeah.
So looking for a fresh new angle on YouTube, which maybe it's getting a little stale, just the plain yard selling videos and what sold videos. So there might be an opportunity for us as YouTubers to fill a void that's not there, or approach YouTube and the reselling community from a different angle.
Yeah.
So
we've just found that it's interesting, because I think there's almost like the next generation of resellers a little bit, and everybody who started resell, like, we started after the pandemic, right? So it's been 2 years. And so we kind of grew up, for a lack of a better term, with a certain group of YouTubers in the reselling space.
Yeah.
And I feel like now there's a new generation of resellers, whether it's people who are retired or just got laid off or whatever the case may be, and they're looking for education. How do I pack? I need 100 Bolo brands, whatever it is. And those top echelon people don't make that content anymore, and they shouldn't, right? It wouldn't make sense for their channel. If Harry Tornado made a video of, like, here's how I package a shirt, 99% of his followers are going to be like, dude, we know how to package a shirt. But I feel like there's a new group of people coming into the realm that are like, I need that educational stuff, and I'm looking for it.
Let me chime in on this real quick, guys. While you mentioned Tornado, would he just please get this house finished and get this thing over with? I mean, we've been watching this all year last year, and I'm like, dude, just get it done, dude. Get it done. Move on.
We were laughing the other day because his one video, he's like, I'm not worried about it. It's paid for. It's like, but there's still costs.
I haven't been watching it for a year. I probably watched 2 Harry Tornado videos in my life. So
it's no secret Josh is making some bank off of YouTube content. Come on. Just throw the money at the house and get the job done. Get the house rented and start your stream of income there. Get it done. Just get it over with.
He's just building it as a rental property?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a question down here, guys, if y'all want to tackle that. Any suggestions on trying to schedule time to actually do creation around the business? Who wants to reply to that?
So that is actually a great question, and that's probably even the hardest thing that we struggle with is, we should have filmed that. just film stuff, put things together, get footage of the store, get footage of you finding things, whatever the case may be, and then just put it all together. I know if we go out, I source mostly on the weekends because I'm working during the week, and I'll just film stuff around while we're thrifting, and then we'll put it all together. And then at night when we're sitting around and watching TV, I'm just on the iPad and just editing content together. So it's one of those things where if you want to do it, you'll make time to do it.
Yeah.
But remembering to do it, I think, is still even hard for us.
Yeah. I was just recording like what sold videos Monday because those are my biggest, from packing the orders from the weekend. So I'm already packing the orders anyways. Might as well pick up the camera and record. But I'm struggling with finding the time to actually edit and release the video.
I've been trying for the last 3 days. I finally got it today to get the video to upload to Studio.
Huh.
It's not uploading.
It would, do the little clock around, boop, and then it wouldn't be there. And I'd do it again. It took me 2 days. I was like, technology.
Wow. I've never ran across that. Moving Mountains Community says, what do you use to edit? Johnny, what do you use?
CapCut.
Okay.
The biscuit butt model. I'm using Adobe Photoshop, or the Adobe Pro, I think it is.
Yeah. I use Filmora 9 is what I use. And it's got such a simple interface. Johnny, I'm one of these resellers that I will comp things on my phone when I'm in the field, and I will use my phone to take pictures to add to my draft listings, but I don't do anything else on my phone other than that. And so I guess that's why I'm not partial to doing shorts because I don't use my phone that much.
Yeah.
So anyway, Filmora is a simple interface when you're doing a desktop editing, and I like it really well.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about content before I jumped on here in short form, which it's where I have been focusing on short form because I can do a video every day, I at least try to put one out every day.
Yeah, I just played around with CapCut using it for shorts and then just started to use it for long. One of the nice things about reselling content is you're not like trying to CGI and spaceships flying it. So like, I don't need any, I just need to pop, and then that's it. So CapCut isn't enough, but we did pay for the Pro version, which has been a nice feature to have.
Well, what you were talking about earlier, maybe that's what you're looking for, is a channel that has special effects and reselling videos.
Yeah, I need more spaceships flying.
Right.
I just noticed that, and this might sound bad, but a lot of these views, the channels that have a lower following, like the under 10K, which, we fit into too. Some of these people are just very dry, but they get a ton of views, and you realize it's the content. They're teaching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a strong desire for people to learn from people again.
Yeah. Rad says some of the new editors will have an AI built in for 2024. It'll make things so much easier. Yeah, that's just like when eBay introduced the AI feature in writing your descriptions. Do you guys take advantage of AI writing into descriptions?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I've noticed in doing that is sometimes if you're borrowing off of somebody else's listing, like
yes,
they all same, and and yours is slightly different, you better go down there and check what that thing's putting in the description, because if you have a lot of 4, but the listing you clicked on said a lot of 6, it's going to drop a lot of 6 in the description. So you got to go through there and proofread that.
Yeah.
Or otherwise you're going to get hit.
This sounds like when I called you earlier today, when I sold the lot of 8 DVDs, but it was only a lot of 7. But I didn't realize until I was going to ship it out when I counted the DVDs that I messed up.
Yep. And then they're going to hammer you because they didn't get all their CDs. But anyway, I want to address this because this is kind of why I do this live show. Moving Mountains community, thank you for the feedback. Sorry for so many questions. Just trying to start out and want to start off on the right foot. Moving Mountains, you ask all the questions you want. That is what we are here for. So go ahead and throw some into the chat, and we'll do our best to get them all answered. Moving Mountains. Also, I'd like to know where you're from. If you'll put that down there too, I'd like to know that. All right, Easy Pickings. Chris says I use AI on new boxed items, not the one-offs. Okay.
It is funny when you're like selling one-offs and random things. Like you can see AI like almost struggling to make make the listing. They're just taking your title and making it wordier.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true. Yeah. Well, Johnny, let me ask you this. I am a big proponent of making a draft bank of listings and scheduling those listings to go out like every hour on the hour throughout the day, because that shows activity on your account. Do you utilize any part of that in your business?
No.
Okay. Why?
No.
Why?
We so the way that we kind of have our system works is like Frizzy, for instance, like she'll go out thrifting throughout the day. And then when she comes home at night, she will take her photos real quick and then we'll pop on the couch, we'll watch TV and she'll post. So we never really get ahead. We will do that if we're going on vacation. You know, if we're going away for the weekend, we'll kind of schedule those out. But other than that, from a day to day, we just list every day, photograph every day. And we have a big enough death pile to
we hadn't even talked about death piles yet. But no, the reason why I bring that up, Johnny, and I bring it up quite a bit, you can ask Alex, he can testify, is because my one video that really blew up on my channel, that really took me over the 1,000 sub mark, was the subject of building a draft bank, scheduling. Used to, eBay charged to schedule listings. It's free now. They don't charge you to schedule listings.
I've actually never played with it before. I've never even looked at it.
Yeah. Well, I just shared in that video, I shared my computer screen of how I create a draft bank, how I schedule them out for the entire week to drop 5 a day or 10 a day. And I do it at different times throughout the day. And how that really affected my eBay business was tremendous by doing that. Now, here's why I do that. Yeah, I'm full-time. Yeah, I'm in my shop here. I do not want to sit in front of this computer every single day and list. I just don't. So I'll just take a day or two. Mostly I try to do it in one day, whether it's 8 or 10 hours straight. And I will just blanket and fill up my draft bank up to 250, 200. I think it's 250 or 275. I fill that thing up. And then for that next week I'm coming into, I'll just schedule them out to drop throughout the day. That frees my time up for other things. Instead of having to be in front of the computer listing every single day.
Yeah, I guess just because we do it on our phones.
Yeah.
We're just in front of our phones every day anyways.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, Alex, you started doing that at one time after we were talking about it a lot. You said you were going to utilize some of that.
I did, but I was when I was building up a draft bank, I was only putting out 5 a day. Now I'm back to at least 10 a day. So I'm trying to get to a point where I have no death pile. I go to the bins, whatever I get that day, I come home and list it. So I won't need a draft bank. Like if you get to that point in your business, you just, whatever you get that day, it goes up that day and then start over again tomorrow. If you are sourcing every day, you know?
Right.
So,
Johnny, Moving Mountains is from upstate New York.
Ooh,
well, Johnny
upstate.
Is from Buffalo. Johnny's
That's
from
right.
Buffalo.
Go Bills.
Let's see. We vacation to the Adirondacks. We strive to sell mountains of products, of course, and we want to help others overcome life's mountains. Man, that is awesome.
Love it.
I'm glad you explained your username there, man. That is fantastic. I like that. All right, so here's Wolfman. Wolfman, I had him on the live here last week. He is in North Carolina near Mount Airy.
Okay.
So he's not too far.
Mayberry.
Yeah, Mayberry, not too far from Asheville, and no AI here. I'll leave the description blank, and I say thanks for looking. And we sell items daily. I guess that shows who all doesn't read the description. Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
read the description. You know, that's been my experience. Well,
Well,
when I'm buying on eBay, I don't read
not
it either.
everybody and not everyone looks at all the pictures, and not every, it's like you have to do it all to catch what, people will say, oh, your listing said so and so, and we're like, we never put that. And then we realized from using someone else's listing, if you scroll down at the bottom, it says zipper or whatever it is.
Are you guys using the condition box? Do you write anything there at all as far as the condition for the item?
No.
Never, huh?
I mean,
Ben?
you mean like used or new?
So you
Like
can put used or new, but if you
new?
put new, it won't be there. But if it's used, you can write something there on the condition too.
Yeah, that if it's got pulls or
Someone sold
holes
something.
or stains.
Yeah.
We just put that in the description.
Okay, so you're not using the description boxes. Like usually you can just put for more details, look in pictures. You could put that in the condition note.
Oh, is that?
It's a condition note when you're making a listing on eBay.
It's different on phones. If they do it all on their phones, it may not show that out.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't even ring the bell.
I use it, but I sell mostly books. So if it has highlighting or writing in it, it'll say that in the condition note. Or if it doesn't, then I put that in the condition note,
Is that something specific to books though, or do you get that option?
Well, Ben, do you see that? Because you list on your computer?
Yeah. When you're on the computer, if you click new or used, if you click used, it opens a box and you're to type in the condition of that item. Pre-owned, it has a stain on the left shoulder.
Yeah.
See pics for description. But anyway, Moving Mountains is due south of Rochester, 40 minutes from north of PA there, Johnny.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, there is a description box when you are listing on your computer to put in those flaw details.
I knew this thing was going to sell, and it sold at the perfect time.
Let's see what else.
Hey, Ben, here you go. I'm shipping it to you.
Nice.
$15.
Yeah. The condition note box is the strangest thing that eBay ever did. It makes no sense. Well, everybody does it different. Like I said, though, Johnny, you're probably not seeing what we're talking about because you're listing on your phone. And I'm pretty sure that it does not give you that option when you're on your phone.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I can go to my drafts and I'll look on my phone. I'm curious now.
But if you pull it up on your desktop and you select pre-owned, it'll have a box and it will not let you list till you fill that box in.
Really? Yeah, no, it's definitely not like that on the phone.
Ben, aren't you at least making your drafts on your phone? Because I do all my drafts and take the pictures, and then I go to the computer to fill out the rest of it and edit my photos.
I do all the draft writing on my computer here, and then over here next to my table is my photo booth, and I do my pictures on my phone and then upload the pictures on my phone to my drafts on my phone. But all my typing and weighing and stuff I do right here on the desktop.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got? Here we go. Moving Mountains also said it's on all listings for use, but I'll leave it blank now, and I use the description to put the flaws and such. I think you're right.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a draft on my phone, and there's not an option to put a description or a note for condition.
Yeah, condition box.
Yeah, I don't think I've listed on eBay like on the computer since I had to upload it from my digital camera.
Moving Mountains, I converted from using PC to do most of my listing and stopped when I started doing most of the listing from my phone.
Yeah.
Then we have Rad. You're supposed to put condition issues in the condition notes area, but I had customers never see it, so I went back to just putting it into the description and photos. Yeah, I mean, we all get crazy people that ask questions and want to send things back, but all they had to do is just read the description. I've had people ask me, what was it just the other day? How many inches tall is this figurine? Well, it even says it in the title that it's 9 inches tall. And I just sent it back in the message. I said, go back and read the title. Go back and read the title. That's all I said.
Hey,
I didn't sell it either.
I'm hoping the person that bought the
Smart ass.
DVDs from me didn't read the title, so they don't know how many DVDs they're getting.
Come on, man.
Why
How are
don't
you
you-
even buying anything? You got to
Ben-
read something.
Why don't? Because I sell a lot of toys and figurines. Why don't you just get a yardstick and take a picture of it?
I
and
do.
Measure it? Okay, and you do that
That's
too.
what makes it
and
even
in the title.
worse. It's what makes it even worse. Do you buy just by photo? Well, look at the photo with the yardstick in it. I mean, seriously. Now, this
They
is what
only
I'm
look at
talking about,
the
Johnny.
first
When I
photo.
get on a rant, dude, I am lit, boy. I'm fired up. Yeah,
I can feel the heat here. I gotta take my shirt off here. We get selling clothes. We get a lot of questions like, "Does this run big?" Like, I don't know. Here's the measurements, but
Yeah.
we don't wear it. We just sell it.
I would respond, well, send me a picture of your gut and I'll tell you if it'll fit you or not. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Moving says, yeah, I think I think didn't eBay change the listing view too, so that the condition doesn't even show up unless you click on it now?
Really?
I don't know.
Now I'm gonna go look at all these listings on eBay and see. Maybe probably wasting my time, huh?
Yeah,
I
here.
pops up.
Get him, Ben. Get him, Ben. Ben's fired up. Get the red marker. Get the red marker. Where is the red marker? Yeah, Johnny, I'm always made fun of that I hold pens, these markers. And Archie, our co-host on the Reseller podcast, he got me a bunch of these colored ones for Christmas. And I said, why did you get me all these multicolored? He goes, well, I want you to use these as mood pens. So when you're calm, you hold up a blue one, and when you're fired up, you hold up a red one. So that's where
like
that came from. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. If anybody else got any questions in chat, get them into us here. Oh, yeah. There you go. Ben's like the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know something, brother? We can get into wrestling, dude. We could go.
See,
Alex is a
that was
wrestling
my
fan.
time period. That was my time period.
Yeah.
So apparently I look like a wrestling fan, according to Art.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Art of Resale, Johnny. Have you watched Art of Resale channel?
I've seen some of his stuff. Yeah.
He asked
we
me.
got to meet him at FlipCon.
He asked me backstage. Because they were talking about football and all these sports, and I don't really watch any sports like that. And I say I only watch wrestling. He's like, no offense, but you look like a wrestling fan.
Yeah, we recorded with him in the Locker Room show last night, and that episode will be airing tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here on YouTube. So if you've not subbed to the Reseller Locker Room, please go give us a sub. And also go visit Frizzy's Finds on YouTube as well. You'll see Johnny and his wife on their reselling adventures. And down below, Alex the Beard King Picker on his YouTube as well. And Alex is chasing 1,000, and we need to do everything we can to help him get over the hump, guys.
I had an idea, Ben, that might help me get there if I put out another video.
Well, that might work too.
I'm going on like a month here.
That's so crazy. It might work.
That's maybe. Pretty sad, bro. You're falling into the biscuit butt trap. You need to get out of that.
I'm just trying to boost my eBay numbers, man. That has to be my main focus. So
I get it. Corey from Grams and Pops, he's been in and out of chat here, and they're another great channel. If you've not subscribed to their channel, Grams and Pops, I have almost completely automated my listing, aka I let Teresa do most of it. Yeah, you guys are lucky that got spouses that'll help you in this business, man. I'm just telling you, don't take it for granted.
Yeah, 3 weeks since I put out a video.
So you're due.
I was doing them weekly, but I fell off. I got not burnt out, but I got a little discouraged because I've been recording. I never stopped recording, and I went to go edit a video, and the chip that had all my stuff on it nothing was on there. So I've been recording for months, and it like corrupt, So that sucks.
So Chad says, Alex, you look like Froggy Flips' cousin.
I look
know
like
who-
Froggy Flips if he had a good beard.
Yeah. Yeah. Anthony's beard is nothing at the capacity that you have going, my friend.
Even though
Yeah,
my beard's all jacked up right now. It's not combed.
You're actually getting into the ZZ Top level of beards. You know what I mean? All right. Well, Johnny, you got anything else you'd like to share? Opinions about anything about this crazy business that we're doing, or?
Oh man, just so many. I appreciate you letting me rant earlier, but
No problem, man. You saw what
it's
I did.
yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna have to come back on every time it builds up too high. But no, I appreciate you having me here, and we'll have to do it again when I can get Frizz on here. She's much more entertaining than I am.
Well, you can count on it, and we'll get together on IG. We'll have you both back at the same time, and then we can hear her side of this whole reselling story, because it may not be the same. You know what I mean? So we got to find out. Right?
We definitely have different business models. So
I got you. Alex, you got anything you want to share before we close this thing out?
No, it was nice meeting you, Johnny. And thanks for letting me come on, jump on for a couple minutes here, Ben. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome, sir.
And if I get a new subscriber, I'll put out a video sometime this year.
Absolutely. Hey, I do want to take this opportunity now that we're live, and I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to the Rocky Top Picker channel. Went over 2,000 subs to the channel. Thank you so much, and I certainly do appreciate that. I am now chasing the watch hours to get me over that hump. And be sure to tune in to the Resellers Locker Room podcast. If you've never checked out our podcast channel, we've had some heavy hitter resellers. Week before last, we had the Craigslist Hunter. Pete was on our show. We've had Rachel Strickland. We've had who else, Alex?
Atlanta Flippers. I was just watching their channel before I jumped on here.
Been on the show.
ATL, yeah. That was a fun episode.
So we've had some hugely successful YouTube creators as well as
we
resellers.
had Rod Picking and Punching. Did you mention him?
Rod Picking and Punching. That's right. Yeah. But anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on this Hump Day show right here on the Rocky Top Picker Live. And on behalf of Johnny and behalf of Alex, my name is Ben, and we cannot wait to see you next time. Join us next Wednesday. Until then, peace and love. Talk soon.
Bye, guys.